So a lot of people ask me, how is Top Wikipedia different than Wikipedia? And so Top Wiki is a conjugation of Top WikiLeaks, Top Wikipedia. And when you go on Wikipedia and you check out egg, basically it's this master summary. An egg is an organic vessel containing a zygote in which an embryo develops until it can survive on its own. What it's not going to tell you is the most important historical context of the term and concept itself, such as male plus female equals female, which is where we get the concept of an E with a little dash raised above it as it relates to the periodic table of elements. Basically, it's void of the highest level science secrets in the world. Because there's no way to actually reference them. They have to be reverse engineered because they're owned by governments and corporations and things like that. So the reverse engineer or extrapolating out has to be so good that every person can come back and be like, get the same exact results. That male plus female equals animation, mate equals animation, it's the basis of the concept of matter, yada, yada, yada. And then we can kind of like go from there. So that's why in theory, Top Wiki would be a product that is at a minimum used more than Wikipedia by every person in the world. And then it links back into Wikipedia for expanded learning. So the claim to hit a ubiquity factor of, every single person on Earth is that more people would use it than Wikipedia. And it complements Wikipedia, feeds back into it, and the profits from it, 150 million out of every 1 billion, go to fund Wikipedia and keep it to fund its survival. So the survival of Top Wiki, Wikipedia, and WikiLeaks are linked together. 150. So I'll kind of show you here real quick. So I have it here. That for every 150 million, for every 1.54 billion, 35% gets taken off the top to help build roads, schools, hospitals, bridges, parks, science museums for Cambodia, making it the corporation that brings in the most revenue of any corporation in the history of the country. And then after 1 billion, a 35% self-imposed gentleman tax, then 150 million goes to keep Wikipedia alive and WikiLeaks. So that way it's not just this, That way it's not just like, hey, look at this, isn't this cool? Like, I'm a scientist. It's like, I'm a scientist / plutocrat. And this is how we do it at that level. We make it better than I don't want to use the word better because then I'll get in trouble, but basically everybody goes to Top Wiki first, learns the science secrets, history of the concept of egg, for example, and then even the historical concept, BC versus non-BC, carbon being the basis of life, little trick to memorize the table. Where does that come from? So basically everybody goes to Top Wiki first, and then they click on some of the hyperlinks, and then it feeds right back into Wikipedia for expanded learning. So it's kind of like obvious that it'll be more popular product than anything anybody's ever created so far in the history of our species. All right, Prater out.